Meanwhile, under pressure from the United States, life in Cuba has grinded almost to a halt. The twin loss of fuel and tourists have been catastrophic for the Cuban economy. Many citizens are questioning how long they can endure the conditions with no end in sight. CNN's Patrick Oppmann reports from Havana.
You can look for tourists in Cuba, but good luck finding any these days. The colonial streets and plazas in Old Havana, one of the island's main attractions for foreign visitors, are strikingly empty.
Cuba's tourism sector is enduring the worst moment in years, if not decades. We've come to an area that should be absolutely full of tourists to see how bad it's gotten.
Rolando is trying to promote the restaurant where he works, but there's hardly anyone to make his pitch to.
You don't see any tourists.
Maybe in this moment 10%, 10% tourists in this square that is the best square is Plaza Vieja. The other square in Havana, maybe 10%. It's nothing.
The oil blockade placed by the Trump administration on Cuba earlier this year has contributed to rolling blackouts and a scarcity of jet fuel for airlines carrying tourists from Europe or Canada, which have canceled flights. Threats of increased U.S. economic sanctions on international hotel chains is forcing many companies to abandon the island and remove the brands off hotels they used to manage for the Cuban government. According to official statistics, only 360,000 tourists visited the island in the first 5 months of 2026, a more than 58% drop from the previous year. The Trump administration says it is pressuring the island's communist rulers to open the tightly controlled economy and political system. But people like Elio and Andres, who have been playing traditional Cuban music on the street corner for nearly 30 years, are among those feeling the squeeze. When we meet them, the guitar duo had earned less than $1 in tips that day. They told me the economy has never been this bad, even during the pandemic.
No hay turista aquí.
There are no tourists, Elio says. Maybe they're at home. One comes by only every half hour or hour. Even the famed Hemingway Trail, the bars where the American writer drank his way across Havana, has gone cold.
This is one of the most famous bars in Havana. You can see Hemingway's signature there on the wall. This is one of the many places he drank. He said he came here for his mojito. I've never been able to come here without there being just a crush of tourists. We're the first customers of the day. It's a tourist trap without any tourists.
For the first time, Cuban officials say, they may allow Cuban exiles or Cubans still living on the island to manage hotels, but full ownership, so far at least, is still not permitted. The collapse of the tourism economy is a disaster for a government that spent years pouring scant resources into building hotels.
This is not only Cuba's largest hotel, it's the tallest building on this island. This is one of the most expensive things this government here has ever built. Architects who worked on this project told me it cost more than $200 million to build this hotel, which is now empty and closed.
Still, construction continues on even more hotels that are unlikely to see paying customers anytime soon. Cubans who work in tourism are trying anything to make ends meet. Alexander tells us he lowered prices to take a carriage ride with his horse Napoleon so that Cubans could afford a city tour. He still barely makes enough money to pay for his government license to work as a guide. More reforms urgently need to take place, he says.
If we don't change our system, if we don't change our economic model, we'll never survive like a human being. Because every day, daily, there are problems and problems and problems. And if we don't solve, if we don't change those things, you will never have a real future.
Cuba's tourism industry has already collapsed under increased U.S. pressure. Now the fear is the rest of the island's teetering economy could soon follow. Patrick Oppmann, CNN, Havana.